What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Shout out to the Elite Fleet. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can become a member of the Elite Fleet. And what we have here is a video where apparently he's going to try to make the case that the emasculation of black men is not a real issue because masculinity as a whole hasn't done anything for anybody. So I guess he took it out of just black men and took it into masculinity as a whole. Hasn't done anything for anybody, which I find to be a ridiculously short-sighted, naive, and pretty much stupid statement. So when my subscribers sent me this video, I'm like, okay, let me watch it, do a reaction to it, and see if he actually has a point. So Elite Fleet, you know I don't like to waste much time. Let's get straight into this and see what this man is talking about.
So I think I already told y'all my rule, right? If I end up tweeting and typing way too much about a particular topic, I tell myself to just shut it down. And
okay, all right. So right off the bat, what I noticed is this guy is clearly a member of the Fruit Loop troop. This guy's clearly got fruit by the foot. He's a fruit roll-up, okay? And now, listen, everybody gets jokes here. Because what I don't want y'all to do is come in here, you're homophobic. I am not homophobic, okay? I did a video months ago when everyone was attacking the LGBTQ plus community, okay? And it's still on this channel when everybody was getting on y'all for getting on Dave Chappelle and getting on Halloween Kills and saying that was homophobic and getting on the baby, and everybody was on y'all ass talking about how y'all doing too much and y'all complaining too much, okay? I defended y'all and said, I don't really think the LGBTQ plus community has a problem with Dave Chappelle or Halloween Kills or the baby, and I actually think that's the Matrix agenda pushing division, okay? But I'm gonna get my jokes off. But I just wanted to say that because I know the first argument y'all run to, especially y'all fake woke people and y'all liberals, the first thing y'all do is try to put somebody in some type of a hate group. Hey, you're a misogynist. You're homophobic. You hate women. None of that applies here. I don't want to hear that. I'm just saying the dude is clearly a rainbow warrior, right? I just wanted to point that out. All I'm saying is I can see the dude in the room listening to Beyonce's You Won't Break My Soul, busting out a Vogue in his room or in the club. You know, I can see him doing a mean Vogue like boots and cats and boots and cats and boots. Do. All right. Let me stop because I know y'all already probably pissed. Let me stop. All right, let's go.
Cameron starts talking, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
What did I say? Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. I told y'all.
Is it just my algorithm? Or is everyone really talking about it? And from what I'm seeing, it looks like there is a large conversation happening about this particular tweet. So I'm just going to show it to you so we all can see. Now, Mr. Tisha Arnold came up here and said...
Okay, so he's talking about the Tisha Arnold tweet. This actually came out a while ago where she was basically saying, what can we do to stop the aiding and emasculation of black men in America? Okay.
What can we as black women in America do to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men in America? Now, and this is hilarious to me because, like, if you look at masculinity, right? Or
okay.
It's like the traditional version of it, or
okay.
The most oppressive, the violent versions of it that people seem to want to hold on to for dear life. And if you
okay, who said that?
Change the definition of masculinity.
Who said that? Where anywhere in her tweet did she say anything about the violent or the fear-mongering or any of the negative parts of masculinity? Like, that's what you said. All she said is, what could we do as black women to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men? So I don't understand how we even got there, but okay.
Even one inkling, they just be like, oh my God, emasculation. So.
Oh, you should know all about that because y'all be like, oh my God, homophobia.
What I'm asking right now is to take a look at traditional masculinity.
Talk that talk.
And ask yourself, what has it done for black women? Like, what has it done for black women for them to be holding on to it?
Okay, all right, boom. I can answer that question for you, buddy. I hope you run into this video. What has traditional masculinity done for the black woman? Well, first of all, okay, we'll start back and we'll come forward. If you go back in time into the ancient Greek, Roman, Egyptian times, the black community, okay, in Egypt was one of the most matriarchal societies in the world at that point, all the way up to allowing black women to be pharaohs of the country. Now, the Egyptian dynasty at that time was the strongest dynasty in the world, and they still allowed women to be pharaohs, aka to be presidents, aka to be kings and queens, aka to run the entire country. Not only did they allow women to be pharaohs, but they openly acknowledged their female deities. Okay, even the Great Sphinx is actually a black woman. So when you're going to say what has black masculinity done for the black women, I'm going to say stuff like that. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, Alex, that's old. What have they done for me lately? Okay, well, let's keep bringing it up. Let's look at the Civil War. We all know that the South was winning the Civil War, and one of the ways that the North won the Civil War is by allowing black men to fight for the North against the South. That's one of the things that turned the tide of that battle, okay, which obviously led to the Emancipation Proclamation. So you probably wouldn't even be free. Well, actually, it's not a probably. It's pretty much a fact. Your black women wouldn't be free if it wasn't for black men actually going out and shedding blood and dying in the Civil War. I don't know, you guys don't pay attention in history no more, but I'm just saying, dying, putting their lives on the line in the Civil War for black women, okay, along with black kids and other black men and black people in general to have freedom, okay? If you go further than that, we can talk about so many black leaders who in the equal rights movement, okay, in the civil rights movement, and even before that, okay? You always had your Nat Turners. You had your Marcus Garveys, okay? We know the role Malcolm X played in the civil rights movement and getting equal rights for black people, okay? We know the role Dr. Martin Luther King played in the civil rights movement and getting equal rights for black women. Okay, so I don't understand what you're talking about when you say what has traditional black masculinity done, because all of these men that I just named were all straight, masculine, heterosexual, or cisgender, as y'all would call it, men. And that's a lot of stuff. And this is all just off the top of my head. So I don't understand what you mean when you say what has traditional black masculinity done for the black woman. A lot, clearly, as I've just said. But okay, let's go on.
Kind of homophobic ass fucking way, and that's exactly what it is, queerphobic ass way. Like,
wait, whoa. How do we get the homophobia? Who said anything homophobic? You see, I told y'all at the beginning of the video, they find a way to call you misogynist or homophobic or sexist or racist or like some type of, they try to put you into these hate groups. Who said anything homophobic? Who said anything homophobic? Who hurt him? I'm going to use the female's word now. Who hurt you? What man violated you that you just go into all this negative stuff? Nobody said any of this. What is he talking about?
What, looking at the unchanged traditional definition of masculinity, why are you talking about emasculation? Like, I hate the fact that
what is the definition of masculinity? Do you know it? Because if you're going to say, looking at the unchanged definition of masculinity, you didn't even give it. What's your definition of masculinity? I'd like to know what it is, because you're bothered and I don't understand why. I'm trying to figure it out.
It is just this made up fairy tale ass fake issues that people be concerned about. You're worried about niggas in dresses and niggas in skirts and niggas in makeup and shit, whatever else y'all talking about.
You mean like these fake made up issues of modern feminism? Third and fourth wave feminism, not the original feminism, okay? Not the feminism where people were talking about voting rights and the right to work and the right to own a car and own property, okay? And be able to invest. And those were real feminist issues. I'm talking about today, where you guys are talking about intersectionalities and being able to go outside and free your nipples and all this other stuff that seems like a power trip because you already have equal rights. I don't see what right women don't have. You could argue Roe v. Wade, but outside of arguing Roe v. Wade, what right in 2022 don't women have? What right in 2022 don't gay people have? Or homo people have, LGBTQ plus people have. Y'all can get married, y'all can work. You can't be openly discriminated against anymore. Pride Month is a whole thing. The NFL changed their colors to a rainbow. The NBA changed their colors to the rainbow. Everybody becomes a member of the Fruit Loop Troop. We dance, we sing, we vote, boots and cats and boots and cats. And we do all that to make you guys happy, and you're still complaining. So if you want to talk about made up issues, what about all those made up issues? Because from how I see it, women have equal rights today. So does the LGBTQ plus community. So what are you guys complaining about? But let's keep going.
Meanwhile, what has traditional masculinity done for y'all except to tell y'all to...
Okay, what has traditional masculinity done? It's interesting to me that he's asking what has traditional masculinity done. He didn't say black this time, so now I'm going to just assume he's talking about masculinity in general. So what has traditional masculinity done, okay? First of all, that house you're sitting in, I can pretty much guarantee you was built by a man, but the whole design of a house was designed by a man, okay? Right now, you are on a computer. The computer was made, developed, and designed by a man. You're on YouTube, which was made, developed, and designed by a man. On the internet, which was made, developed, and designed by a man. Speaking into a microphone that was made, developed, and designed by a man. So why are you asking what has traditional masculinity done? They made your house. They made that chair. They made the microphone you're speaking into, the computer that you're talking through, and the website that you're broadcasting yourself through. And you're talking about what has traditional masculinity done? All of that. You wouldn't even be able to come on the internet and spew this rhetoric without traditional masculinity. So what are you talking about, sir? He's yet to make a good point. He's yet to make a good point. I swear the goofiest people on YouTube get the biggest followings, man. But let's continue. Maybe he'll make a point. The video is only 14 minutes and we're 2 minutes in, so it's taking him a long ass time to make a valid point here.
Take y'all pregnant, barefoot asses to the kitchen and make a fucking sandwich like.
Okay, all right, yeah. So that's all masculinity did was tell women to go in the kitchen pregnant and barefoot. Like, that's a bad thing. First of all, what the hell is wrong with being pregnant? Since when did being pregnant become a bad thing? Y'all out here trying to get Roe versus Wade back so damn bad. Nobody wants to be pregnant anymore. We don't want to have kids. Y'all do realize we stop having kids, the human race ceased to exist, right? I know they're working on test tube babies and stuff, but y'all do realize that, right? And then you're like, have her in the kitchen making sandwiches barefoot and pregnant. Okay, so he wasn't going out working 10 to 14 hour shifts to be able to afford that kitchen that she was barefoot and pregnant in, so that she didn't have to go out and work 10 to 14 hour shifts. You're not looking at it from that angle. You're not thinking about how he took care of her and that baby that came out of her by himself. You're not going to talk about none of that, huh? You're not going to talk about how he put the clothes on her back. You ain't going to talk about that. You ain't going to talk about how he married her and took her from her father's house, because back in those days, men provided everything. That's not important to you. You don't care about none of that. You just want to act like he just knocked her up and said, bitch, stay in the house. You're not going to act like even to this day, there's not a whole bunch of women who like being housewives. We're going to ignore that 56% of women who have a husband who earns 6 figures or more don't work by choice. In 2022, when they have equal rights, you're not going to talk about any of that. You're going to ignore everything and just say that that's all masculinity did. Okay.
What has it done? What has masculinity done for y'all to the point where you're holding on to it and you don't want to accept any changes to the definition of what it means to be a man?
But you haven't even gave us the definition yet. I'm still waiting for you to give us your definition of what it means to be a man, sir.
Because masculinity is fucking up even men.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The tradition.
No, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. I don't know. I'm waiting for you to say what you mean. I don't know what you mean, sir. What do you mean? Hopefully he's going to say it now.
It's fucking men up.
Okay.
It's destroying men.
Talk. How?
It's telling them that the only
What's it telling them?
they should ever express are anger.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Who said to be masculine, the only feelings you should express is anger? To be masculine, man, first of all, you express all emotions. But even if you're looking at the stereotypical role of masculinity and the stereotypical feelings associated with it, it's still not just anger. Men are very proud. They have a lot of pride. So that's another emotion they express all the time right then. Okay? Men also have a lot of joy and they have a lot of fun. Okay? So right off the bat and just off the top of my head, even if we're talking about the stereotypical traditional masculinity, they still express more emotions than just being angry. Hell, they're horny. Most men traditionally are horny all the damn time. That's an expressive emotion. And men propose to women. So clearly they can express love too. So even if we're going off the most stereotypical basis of masculine emotion expressions, it's still more there than just anger.
It's telling them the only way they can express themselves is through fucking violence.
Who said that? Who said this?
My question is not worrying about fake ass emasculation, which I don't know how someone can do that shit to you if you're not strong in your own definitions of what you feel like it means to be a man.
Okay, so why are you saying what we feel like? What do you feel like? This is your video. What do you feel like masculinity is? We're 3 minutes into a 14-minute video and you still have not defined by your own perception what masculinity is. All you did was come out here in a tight-ass shirt and run your mouth. What is it that masculinity is to you, sir?
How someone skipping across the street in a skirt or some shit can shatter the idea of black men's masculinity.
All right, let me ask a reverse question and leave an answer in the comments if you have a good one. What has modern men being allowed to skip and prance and twerk and paint their nails and wear earrings and just be all feminine, dancing around here with My Little Ponies, riding on unicorns? What has that done? How has that helped? What have they done for society? What have they created? How have they pushed us forward? What have they made? What platform can I broadcast on that was designed and created by them? Who have they taken care of? What innovations have they pushed forward, since you want to bring that up? I probably won't get an answer to that question. This might be a short response because this is kind of getting on my nerves. It's going nowhere. Like, he's talking from pure emotion. Like, this is ridiculous. Women aren't even this bad. This is terrible.
What is it really doing? Like, what is it really doing? Except telling y'all to shut the hell up. I seen somebody say...
What? So that's all masculine people do, is tell people to shut up. All right. Okay. So the whole system of debating, the entire art of debate, the great debaters, debate teams, was created by men. And you're saying all men do is tell people to shut up. Okay, cool.
Do in order to stop emasculation.
Okay.
I seen a nigga say this. He said that y'all need to say no to feminism. Y'all need to say no to be. So it's like, even within the queer-phobic questions that y'all be asking.
All right, how is saying no to feminism queer-phobic? Oh my God. Yeah. Somebody please explain to me, how is saying no to feminism queer-phobic? How? Good Lord, what is he talking about?
Genuine queer-phobic questions that y'all be asking, the answers that y'all get are...
That would be misogynist. How is it queer-phobic? I know I'm supposed to be past that, but this dude making my hair hurt. Oh my Lord.
Work against yourself. It's to work against yourself.
What is he talking about? You're not a girl. What are you talking about? You're a homosexual man, not a woman. What are you talking about? How is it working against yourself? I'm not going to sit here and say that comment he read wasn't stupid. But how the hell is that working against yourself? You're not a woman. This is what happens when you start letting people identify as squirrels and all types of shit. This is what you get.
I don't understand what people are talking about. Oh my God, emasculation. It's a fake ass issue. The reason
why is it fake?
Oh my God, emasculation. It's because queer people, especially if you're talking about queer black men, do not feel. So a lot of them are now approaching the place where they don't feel like they have to sit their asses in this fucked up ass box. And so queer black people, or they don't even have to be queer. They could be straight black men who express themselves differently as men, and they don't feel like they have to shut the fuck up about who they are now. And so y'all see that as an attack on traditional masculinity. And my thing is like, what's so wrong with changing the definition of what it means to...
You never gave the original definition. You still yet to give a definition. What are we changing?
Manhood is, or what it means to be a man. Why is it so bad to see that there are different kinds of men out here? What is it? And I don't know why people are so dedicated to traditional masculinity when it ain't did shit for them.
Because it's done everything for everyone in society as of right now. Not literally everything. Don't get me wrong. Women have made plenty of contributions to society. But we're not going to sit here and pretend that what men have provided to society and what women have provided to society has massively dwarfed. Now, you could argue maybe women would have provided more if they would have been allowed to work and they would have been allowed to create and etc. Even though, again, there were places like Egypt where they were allowed to do that. But they're allowed to do it now. And they're still behind men in creating major technological advancements, or scientific advancements or educational advancements that are new and profound. All right, so I don't understand why you keep saying, why are we like traditional masculinity? Because it's been effective.
It ain't did shit for them except for them to expect themselves to repress all their feelings, you know what I mean? To treat women like shit.
Who said masculinity tells you to treat women like shit or repress all your feelings? Yeah, a traditional man isn't going to run around being emotional. That's because that's the woman's role to be emotional. You can't have two emotional ass people who crying because they can't pay the bills, who crying because they stubbed their toe, who crying because someone didn't pick up the phone. Somebody's got to be in their right frame of mind. Somebody's got to be a rock to the water, sir. But who said masculinity is treating women like shit? What are you talking about? Who said this?
Around here entitled to shit, don't know how to fucking make a goddamn meal, can't even fucking vacuum their own fucking house.
Oh yeah, right, yeah, because men can't vacuum. All right. Look, this dude. All right, listen, we're about to get an ad. I'm not even gonna waste my time editing this to clip out the ad because I mean we're 5 minutes into a 14-minute video. Okay, so we're more than a quarter of the way done. He's yet to give an example of what masculinity is. All he keeps doing is saying all these negative things and saying that I guess all these negative things is a definition of masculinity. I guess, but they're just random one-offs. Masculinity says treat women bad. Masculinity says show no emotion. Masculinity, I mean, this is not the definition. So where are you getting this? Like, why do you feel like this? Why do you think that that's what masculinity is? And at a certain point, the traits you're talking about, they're really personalized. Like, when you define masculine and feminine energy, if somebody asks me what femininity is, I'm not going to say femininity is being catty. Or I'm not going to say femininity is being moody. Those seem more like personality traits. If somebody was to ask me what femininity was, I would say it's nurturing. I would say it's a caring energy. I would say it's a loving energy. You're saying it's teaching you to repress emotions and treat women like crap and keep them in the house barefoot and pregnant. Like everything you're talking about is a negative societal stereotype, and it's not even really a definition. And I've already debunked pretty much all his points. Again, we're 5 minutes into a 14-minute video. I don't really see anything else coming. I'm not even going to waste the time to skip this ad and go forward with all of this. This is goofy. This is silly. This dude has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. He's coming from a pure place of emotion. I don't know what the hell might have happened to him as a child. I don't know if he was beaten. I don't know what was going on with this dude, but clearly some man did him really wrong. Maybe it was his dad, maybe it was his uncle, maybe his granddad, I don't know. Maybe he had one of them granddads who walked around, you going to jail now, and he uppercutted his mama or some shit, or he uppercutted his grandmama, I don't know. But this dude has a very negative perspective. He doesn't understand what a definition is. All he's doing is throwing out everything negative he could think of, which are traits about men and not really traits about masculinity. But, I mean, like, how can you say masculinity is telling women to be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen? That's not even something you would say. If you could say, for example, masculinity is hateful. Masculinity is anger. Okay, but to say something as goofy as, oh, masculinity is telling women to be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, like you're just throwing out random negative stereotypes about men. That's not even masculinity. That's not even something that would be a trait of masculinity if you made a list. Like, I don't know what's good with this guy, man. He's slow. And that's pretty much my opinion on this. This video doesn't make any sense. I would say anyone who thinks that this video does make sense should probably seek help. That's my thoughts on that. I am Alex and I am out. Peace.